recording. Billy, you on?
We're all
Henry?
recording. I'm
Recording.
James? Okay. I guess I'll count off. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, clap, and then we all clap when you hear me say 3.
Okay.
On 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like 1, 2, 3, clap, like on clap.
Okay. Because you said on 3. It was just okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, clap. Huh. Well, hopefully that'll work out in the future. Okay, let's do it one more time just to be safe.
Okay.
I'm just going to anticipate the clap. I'm just going to anticipate you saying clap because I was waiting for you to say it. And...
Well, you should be able to hear. That's what the 1, 2, 3 is for.
Yeah,
so
okay,
1, 2,
sorry.
3. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
We're not going
1,
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
No, just go. Just go. Just do it.
okay, ready?
Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
That's probably fine.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Okay. All right, Harry, you want to start us
Doing
off?
it live.
Yeah. So, as James suggested, well, I guess we should start with welcome to our podcast. Whoever's listening to this,
In
maybe
the
it's
whole
just
wide
us
world.
a week from now. Maybe it's us 5 years from now, being like, "Hey, remember that time we tried to do a podcast?"
Maybe it's our
Those were
parents. We'll
good
see.
times.
Yeah. Name pending. Everything pending, really. But for the opening, what are you guys gonna cook tonight? Do you guys have
Should
plans?
we introduce ourselves first?
I'm Billy.
Yep, easy enough.
Yeah.
I'm Harry.
I am Henry.
I'm James.
Alright. So yeah, what are you guys cooking tonight?
Let's see here. I'm cooking, well, it's leftovers, but I'll tell you what I cooked. I basically just took a bunch of leftover random things I had, and I seared up a bunch of ground beef, and then sauteed some onions and garlic and peppers in that, and then made a bunch of rice, tossed the peppers and meat into the rice, and then made a homemade taco seasoning with cumin, coriander, chili powder, etc., and tossed all that. And I actually cooked the rice, so I tossed all the meat and everything into toasted rice and then I put chicken stock in that, and then allowed that to cook for another 20 minutes, so it all kind of blended together. And then I put chopped cilantro and lime juice on top of that when I served it.
So like taco casserole?
Kind of like taco casserole, yeah, but it's pretty
I
good.
don't know what to call that, but
I've never
random.
heard of anything like that.
I literally made it up because I was drinking, and I just decided this would be a fun idea.
As
tried-
all good ideas start.
Yeah.
Is
All
that
of
rice
them.
similar to the Alton Brown?
Yeah, I
that
stole
did
it from the Alton Brown.
like a
I
week
will
ago?
say I
Okay.
probably would do the rice separate and not do the meat in the rice at the same time because it got a little soggy, but
the meat or the rice?
the rice got like a little too like there was too much oil going on.
Oh,
Yeah. So I would probably do that separate so it's fluffier and more its own thing, and then mix it in all together. It's a good like meal preppy meal that kind of like lasts a long time because I'm trying not to go to the grocery store, so I just made like a bunch of that, and I wanted to use all my cilantro, and it's really good. I had that with some toasted tortillas and some hot sauce and some lime wedges. It's pretty solid.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Henry, are you cooking tonight? Or
Yes, I am cooking tonight. I am going to do Adam Ragusia's Leggett ears, those fresh pasta.
I've wanted to make fresh pasta. I've never done it.
It's I've done it before. The most annoying part is definitely just the slicing of the noodles, the laminating of the whole fucking thing, and that's what this thing is so good about. Is you just need a knife and you roll it out into a log and just cut out the things and press it down until it's like an ear shape. And that's
What are you making it with?
I'm gonna make it just bread or just all-purpose flour, egg. Just make an egg noodle.
Oh, like with the pasta, I mean.
Oh, with the pasta, I'm gonna do something that my old Italian restaurant did called tortellini. They made this stuff called tortellini Allison. It had this really nice blush sauce, which
Love a blush sauce.
we have some homemade marinara, and I'm just gonna add some cream and maybe a few more spices, and then add some spinach as well, and
Nice.
let
Good
that all
stuff.
saute together. And
Hell
that's probably serve it with a salad.
I like that.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. I think I will be making salmon croquettes. Henry,
Ooh.
I know you mentioned it a while ago.
Yes.
And I don't know what reminded me of it, but I was like, I should make that. So
Are you using fresh
I've
salmon?
never.
Sorry.
No, we're doing canned.
Good shit. That's the correct way to do it.
I haven't really found a recipe for it, but I imagine it wouldn't be that hard. I think it's just like what salmon, like canned salmon,
a little
some
egg,
panko, breadcrumbs, and egg, and then I'm gonna do some like green onions and maybe like some lemon or lemon zest. I don't really know. I'll figure it out as I do it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
I'll probably look up a recipe just for the cook time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's usually what I end up doing. Like ingredients, I'll freeform and then figure out how to cook it from a recipe.
I was thinking about doing that as well, actually, like relatively soon. Just because Kat and I love salmon, and for some reason that salmon's not getting. I mean, it's more expensive, but it's not getting bought out as much at the grocery stores because there'll be no chicken at anymore.
Yeah.
But there's just like a ton of salmon, so I'm like,
I think
buy
that's more
all
of a
it.
regional thing.
I'm in the
it's more
middle
of
of
a-
Texas. Why would it be a regional?
I know, but like Texans do like chicken in the South. Like in the South and Texan, like all of the supermarkets are like have no beef, no chicken. But my family that lives out in like Charleston on the ocean, and they can't get fresh fish, but they can find ground beef and shit.
I do want to circle back to that.
Yes.
Just like coronavirus general food
Right.
stuff.
I've been able to find fish out in Knoxville, so
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking the coastal areas.
fresh as the Publix or Sam's Club freezer section or
That's fair.
Right.
I mean, frozen fish is about as fresh as you're gonna get.
Well, the
Yeah.
fishmonger section, they
Right.
got it on a slab of ice. It's probably been frozen.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
So yeah, anyway,
That's
I was
fine.
gonna make those salmon croquettes, and then I have some green beans, and I really like just like roasted green beans, like oven at 450, salt, pepper, olive oil,
That's good stuff.
and roast. And then Austin also wanted to make creme brulee tonight.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
we'll probably do that. I normally like the traditional is vanilla, but I'm going to try out doing half with just some lemon zest instead.
Okay.
And see how that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Billy, what about you? What are you making?
Let's see. I have some cream that I'm gonna turn into butter. 'Cause I do dairy. That's kind of
You
my
are
thing.
the dairy man.
Which is very unfortunate, being mildly lactose intolerant.
Just fight through it.
Basically,
you'll
it's-
eventually get through it.
Yeah, eventually my stomach will fix itself. Or I'll just die. One of the two.
Don't think you could die from being lactose intolerant.
Probably
Watch-
doesn't.
Watch me.
You could just like shit yourself to death, maybe. I don't know.
Just
I mean, yeah.
You would have to
tear out
really
my
go for it.
intestines. But I've also got some leftover potato pancakes because
Ooh, from
Oh,
the Townsend
nice.
video.
from the Townsend video,
Oh, those are good.
and they're pretty good actually.
How did you make those? Was it just like mashed potatoes that you like bind together and fry up, or what?
It's basically mashed potatoes you put on a griddle.
That does sound
until
wonderful.
until one side is kind of burnt to
Golden brown.
golden brown. Yeah, it's
A little past that.
a little past that. Just so otherwise you really have to have some butter or oil to keep it off of whatever cooking surface you have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I kept having problems where it's like, all right, the top or the bottom or whatever's touching the heat source is burnt, but like the middle is still kind of wet and pasty because it's mashed potatoes, and you can't really
Ah.
flip it. You can't really flip that. So I actually moved those over to a griddle, or my like panini press griddle thing that I have. Grilled both sides at the same time. Worked like a charm.
Okay.
Okay.
I will say, doing burgers on that griddle of yours is really great because you get like perfectly, like crispy sides without overdoing the center, and it's all done at once. I'm a big fan of that.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a real shame. Well, we're on number 2 of it, so if we can get a sponsorship from Cuisinart,
Right?
That'd be
Oh,
great.
right. That's the second one because Gib actually threw it
that's
away.
the second one because I'll admit it was a little gross because when we took it to James's cabin or whatever,
Only
I
a
put
little
in
gross.
only a little gross. Only a little gross. Not the worst thing that happened in that kitchen
What
or
happened, though?
our kitchen sophomore year.
I haven't heard this story.
Oh, you haven't? Oh,
What-
it's fine.
what- We went to James's cabin, like our entire college friend group, for a weekend, and I thought, I like cooking. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
bored out of my mind. I brought my little Cuisinart griddle panini press that also has like a waffle attachment if you pay the extra $20 or whatever. And I brought
Mhm.
some Loveless Cafe pancake or waffle mix. I was like, oh, I'll fix up some waffles for everyone in the morning after everyone's hungover, and I wake up 3 hours before everyone else. So I make waffles. I pass them out. I can't remember if they were well received or not.
I think we were all really hungover and very appreciative.
That was probably the case.
Yeah.
So the girdle's kind of messy at this point, and I don't have enough like material to wash it. So I throw it in a trash bag, thinking, oh, it'll be fine. Clearly, no one's gonna throw out like the 15-pound like mostly empty metallic sounding panini press.
You were just putting it in there as I'll deal with this later when we get back to civilization.
I don't want this in my car with buttermilk down the sides or whatever.
And, drippy batter bits, yeah.
Or batter bits. And one of our, I think, just a guy who I wasn't the closest with, just chucked it out with the rest of the trash.
Yikes. And I'm guessing you didn't figure out until you were long gone.
No, yeah. We hadn't figured out until we were long gone. I ended up having to ask James's parents, hey, can you check the dumpster? Maybe it's still there. Because didn't y'all throw the trash in the local church's dumpster?
Yeah,
or something?
we our hungover asses drove over to the local church because it had a bear-proof dumpster, and so all of us unshowered, just sweating vodka, are throwing trash during a church service.
But yeah,
nice.
that's what happened to the first Cuisinart panini press.
Yep.
It served me well. I wish I could have given it a proper funeral, but here we are.
All right, so cool. Sounds like some interesting things being made tonight. Do we want to move on to the topic that everyone's just can't get enough of talking about?
Chomping at the bit.
I am curious. You made me
get us
think.
banned from YouTube or demonetized?
No.
Okay.
We're monetized.
This is going on YouTube.
But yeah, coronavirus. What's it doing to the food situation in your area? Have you been eating more to go? I'm kind of surprised Gainesville hasn't. The only thing that Publix in Gainesville is missing. There's two things. The toilet paper aisle is still barren, totally empty, which kind of surprising.
Kind of surprising everywhere. It literally
frozen,
rural nowhere.
Yeah, frozen pizza and canned soup. Those are the only things that are missing. Everything else is relatively abundant. I was able to get chicken just fine. I haven't seen empty meat.
Hearing though what is gone and the fact that you're in a pretty much strictly college town, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but everyone, A, this is at the Publix that's not right next to campus. And B, I figured most of the students would have gone home. I mean, obviously, it's however many thousands of students, even if 80% of them leave, that still leaves quite a few. But, yeah, James, you're, Austin's, out of meat most of the time?
No, Austin... So Texas is funny because you never run out of beef. There is never a shortage of beef just because of how many, cattle farms around here. So beef has not been a problem to get at all. Chicken was at first hard to get, but I just bought a bunch of whole chickens because people are kind of afraid of those and they think, oh, what am I going to do with that? And I'm like, oh, I love whole chickens, so I bought a bunch of them.
Okay.
But no, it meat wise, it's pretty okay, especially ones where it's bone in and skin on, stuff that's going to require extra work. That usually is pretty well stocked. But it's kind of similar to what you're saying. The toilet paper's gone, canned goods are gone, frozen food is gone. They put a rationing on all of that in around Austin, just because you can only take one thing or one or two things of frozen veggies or meat, and one or two things of rice or one thing of toilet paper. So they rationed it all. So, and you can only have so many people in the grocery stores, so there's not just people fighting it out trying to get stuff. But the actual just fresh meat, I think it's just also being around a lot of more animal farms, cattle farms. That's never been an issue. I mean, I can still go get a giant, pork loin or huge thing of ribs. That's not out of stock just because Texans are crazy. But it's more, it's kind of what you were saying, the frozen food, the paper goods, and the canned goods, because I guess people are thinking, oh, if I'm sick, there's no way I'll cook. And me and Kat were either paranoid enough or smart enough at the beginning of all this before the city shut down that we got like a belligerent amount of canned goods and we have that stuffed away in a closet that we're not touching unless one of us is sick, because therefore neither of us can leave the apartment.
Okay, brief sidebar that reminds me of. Did you guys see, it was a story, I think originally on Reddit. It was a guy basically who said, I broke up with my girlfriend because she hid my beans in the woods.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I missed that.
What?
The TLDR is a guy posted, it was like relationship advice or like today I fucked up, something like that. And it was basically a guy had gone to the store, gotten a bunch of beans because like, you know, they keep for a while and high protein or whatever.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend was like freaking out and without telling him, went into the woods and buried all of the beans in an unmarked spot. And he was like, where the fuck did you put my beans? And she told him as much. And he said, that's ridiculous. I bought the beans to use them. Like, go, tell me where my beans are. Or like, take me to my beans. And she wouldn't. And long story short, he was like, it's either me or the beans.
Wait. She wouldn't tell him where the beans were?
No, she was like, no, just go buy more beans. That's our like backup beans. I don't want you to get them now because then if something goes wrong, we need those.
Cash.
Yeah.
What
so,
the fuck?
My God.
Yeah. Long story short, pick me or the beans, and she picked the beans, I guess.
What? Where was this? This sounds
how
like
far south were
this
the
sounds like
business?
some
Take it.
stuff.
So take it with a grain of salt. It's a Reddit story,
That's fair.
It's a good Reddit story.
but
That's excellent.
I don't remember seeing any details about like location. What about Nashville and Knoxville? What are the stores like up there?
Nashville, it's gotten better, though I haven't been, none of my family's actually been out of the house to go to the store in, I think, 2-3 weeks at this point. We
Just
order
getting delivery.
Yeah, we get delivered groceries, but because of apparently, like, we have to constantly get substitutes as to what we want. Like, we wanted all-purpose flour, and we got cake flour, which is
Oh wait. Wow. Okay.
yeah, it was a kind of weird. We did get some on all-purpose later, but originally we just had a box of cake flour, which I haven't used because I have no idea what the difference between cake flour and all-purpose is.
Probably
Yeah,
a
sugar
little
already
content.
sifted into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
I
was.
think we hit those on the head.
Yeah, nailed it.
Excuse me, I recently started dealing with flour. It's
I mean,
new
if
to me.
you give me a minute, I've got like a tie into this. I can go get some of my Whole Foods pastry powder or flour and their normal whole wheat flour and do a side by side
Look at the protein.
a quick comparison nutrition fact check.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how it changes cooking wise. Is the main thing.
I can tell you if you want.
Sure.
So gluten, right?
Yeah.
It's what makes bread chewy and bready. But you obviously don't want that in a cake.
Mhm.
So gluten, I might be wrong on this, correct me if I am, but is a protein.
Yeah, it's protein.
So if you vary the amount of gluten in your flour, you can increase or decrease how like chewy the final product is. So cake flour, you want to be like light and fluffy and not chewy. So it is a special kind of flour that has lower protein content. All-purpose is about in the middle of the road, and then bread flour is other end of the spectrum, has like more gluten in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah, but basically, like, things were pretty bad until they started limiting products, which was a great idea, and they should have done it a lot earlier. I mean, Nashville locked down...
Like the limit 2 per person?
Yeah, like 2 per person or 1 per person. Like, we only get 1 package of toilet paper per person. Like, that's a really good idea to keep people from just, being insane.
Yeah, although it's hard if you're in a bigger household.
It is harder in a bigger household, but that just means going to the store more.
Right.
Like,
But putting more people at risk is, not ideal.
finding ground beef has been pretty difficult for a lot of things. Like, we get Kroger because Publix is like marking up everything right now around us.
Yeah.
My dad's like, I got this tiny grocery bill, like this tiny set of groceries, like just for one meal, and it cost me $200.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Dude, I just spent $200 for a month's worth of food. Like, what?
fuck if I know. Like it ended up being like in total like 25 to 50% more.
Good
It was
lord,
absurd.
I mean, yeah, that's. I've always noticed the same thing with like just normal food delivery, which partially I'm more tempted to do because I'm like, oh, pay the delivery drivers. It's still supporting local restaurants. But then I get in the app and it's like, oh, if I go pick it up myself, it'll be $20. If I get it delivered, it'll be $40.
Yeah. It's like
It's
double.
like I don't want burritos for two for $40 at that point.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you. So from hearing from that, like Harry, you seem like you're ordering out a decent bit, and Henry, you're ordering groceries. Are any of you guys like making the trek to the grocery stores at all?
No.
I have.
Yeah,
I've
do.
been
Okay.
horribly irresponsible.
I only have so much kitchen space anyway, and I can't buy a month's worth of groceries at once.
Yeah.
So like I still am doing my little less than weekly grocery trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still also picking up food to go about as much as I normally do.
I actually haven't gotten any to-go food. Like, my parents just kind of refuse to. I want to,
Don't
but
trust it.
they're just like, I'd rather not take the risk.
I haven't had any to go stuff either, just because I want to. I really want some, but I've been trying to be like fiscally responsible during this as well. So like I go to the grocery store once every 3 to 4 weeks, drop a chunk of change, but that's it. That's the food.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially you were saying not knowing, not to get too off topic, but about your internship or job over the summer.
Oh yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
like
No,
yours still, right?
my entire department is just like freaking out about that because all like research gigs are like kind of up in the air because we've all gone to online classes for the summer as well, and so we can't go to campus. So all like researchers who were, they have to be on campus to work. They're not going to get funding. Half the people I know's jobs/internships have been like suspended or their start date's been pushed back. So I think everybody I know is going to have like a month to 2 of just not knowing where they're going to get their income. So
That sucks.
like my contract's up at the end of May, so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna save some money, buy large chunks of meat, and I don't have a lot of storage space like you, Harry. I have a very small kitchen, but so what I'll do is I'll go to the grocery store, get all this meat, but I'll cook like 2 things of it at once. I'll like do a whole day of like cooking an entire pork shoulder, cooking all this chicken. I'll like cook all of it, and so for the next like week of that amount of food I bought, it's already cooked and ready to eat.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've been
Fair.
doing. I also
Not
I did
bad.
meal prepping a lot before all
Quick
this.
sideline.
Yeah.
We're referencing a lot of our personal lives and like research and stuff like that. Maybe we should
Explain what the
a-
hell we do.
explain what the hell we do. Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
Sure. We can all take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
James, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm a graduate student at UT Austin. I study geotechnical engineering and I teach and do research there. So I work for a university.
Henry?
I'm Henry Moxley. I'm a mechanical engineering graduated student from UT Knoxville, and I am currently looking for a job. I am a unemployed house bum right now. So any
Professional
leads,
weed?
please give me.
Listeners, you know what to do.
Will engineer for food.
Gimme.
Okay, I'm Harry. I live in Gainesville, Florida. It's the University of Florida City. And I work at a soil analysis lab, which is science, and I like science. And it's a nice stepping stone to grad school. What about you, Billy?
So yeah, I'm Billy. I'm a graduate research assistant at UT in Knoxville, Tennessee. That is, and I do drone stuff. I do research into drones and stuff you can put on drones.
Neat.
Like not
So-
blow up drones.
So this entire cooking podcast is full of
predator
scientific
scientists.
drones.
Yeah, no predator drones. No, let's kill that guy from 2,000 miles away kind of drone.
In fact, kind of the opposite. Like, let's make sure we don't get killed.
Yeah, let's make sure we're not killing people or stuff like that.
So this is
Okay.
a cooking podcast full of science majors.
I feel like that's not that surprising. It's cooking is scientific.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cooking is
yeah.
applied chemistry.
I mean, cookies. Yeah, it is.
Oh, actually, that reminds me.
Applied chemistry and biology.
I got the gauntlet thrown at me cooking wise the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My sister, who has had no interest in cooking ever, besides like making chicken salad, has gotten so bored and so fed up with being trapped inside that she's now decided to challenge me for being the best cook in my family. And she is so she is a I mean, she's a psychology major right now, but she's like a freshman, so who knows? But she's done art most of her life, and so I always like the more like taste and like doing weird flavor experiments. And she's got plating down, and she sent me all these pictures. She's just like, I'm coming for you. You're not going to be in charge anymore. And I'm just like, she sends me all these pictures and like the recipe, what she did. I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, oh, that was a really good idea. Like I'm looking at the things she did and like the plating wise she did and like the color scheme and like all this.
When she
like,
does like a
stuff.
pasta dish, does she use like the 2-pronged fork and kind of like pile it up?
No, she doesn't like pasta because she's her.
Heresy.
And, I know, right? No, she does. She's real like Southwestern Tex-Mex food is her favorite thing. She's been doing a lot of like fresh like avocado, lime, and stuff. But she made like these because my dad's keto now, so she made these like almond flour breaded cauliflower, like buffalo cauliflower that she put in like toasted corn tortillas with like this avocado aioli type thing. And then it was an avocado crema with like a garlic aioli with like fresh lime juice. And I'm looking at it and it's like plated beautifully and it's all like bright and vibrant. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, no, my plating is 80% of the time just, I am done cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm ready to eat
exactly.
it.
But
if I'm like, if I want to take a picture of it or if it's baking, usually I'll work a little harder.
Yeah.
But if I'm cooking dinner, which is like most of the cooking I do, it's like, hey, dinner's ready, let's eat.
Yeah.
If you're not cooking for people who aren't like in your immediate family, then I don't really get the point. Like plating, I don't know.
It's nice to eat food that looks good.
That's true.
It is. It is, but I'd rather not take another 20-30 minutes making it look nice.
Oh, I mean, I don't think it takes that
No.
long. I think it's like 5 minutes.
It's knowing
It's effort.
how to plate it is the key.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't want to move it around too much because you don't want to like mess up the food. You want to like kind of put it there, adjust it slightly. But no, I thought it was funny just because. And she texted me again. She's just like, when I put my mind to it, I'm just better at you than everything. And I'm just like, I'm like,
Yikes,
okay.
Sister.
Here we go.
Well, there
She
you
is
go.
a sassy girl.
Oh, she's just fed up. She's been trapped in my parents' house for like a month, and she's just like she's just got that taste of freedom at college, so now she's home,
Right.
and so she's just like losing her mind.
Well, back on the COVID. So one, if you're looking for meat, try to find a local butcher. They still have stuff because no one thinks to go check out like Willie's Butchery. That
That's
in
a
the
good
back
point.
corner.
Yeah.
Actually,
I've never actually
I'm
once
sure there
been
is a
to
butcher,
a butcher.
in Gainesville,
Like-
but
100 years ago, when our grandparents were alive during the Great Depression, they didn't go to the grocery. Well, they might have, but they went to the grocery store and probably got some ground beef or whatever. But
or in
they-
places that aren't America.
yeah, or
Yeah.
in places that are not America, you go to a bakery and you go get your baked bread. You go to a butcher, you get your meat, and you have milk delivered every day because it's not pasteurized. So my roommate James Matthews has who may be a guest appearance on this podcast.
Who knows?
His alarm certainly will.
James, wake up! It's 3 p.m.
I mean,
You would think, but he's woken up at 8 p.m. before. But he's been getting into eating a lot of lamb in a lot of lamb rack for whatever reason. Because
Okay.
I think his idea is if this is it, I'm going out in style.
Okay.
Living
I mean,
large.
spiced lamb is delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Like some
It
good
smells
lamb.
wonderful when he cooks it. So he finds us a local butcher that we've driven past like 40 times or however many times. We stop there. He gets a lac of ram, a pack of bacon or pecan bacon. I find some cherry wood bacon, some applewood
Ooh.
bacon, and I'm really excited to make that in some biscuits sometime this week. I
That'll
think
be
that's
really
what
good.
my cooking project's gonna be this week.
Ooh, I still have Loveless biscuit mix. Thank you for reminding me. I gotta use that.
Damn right. Also, make sure you use it before the Best By date ends.
Oh, really?
especially if it's a couple years old. Made
That's
that
not
mistake.
couple.
Made
What's
that.
in the biscuit mix? Why would? Isn't it just like dry ingredients?
I think there's some like dehydrated butter. Or
Oh,
I'm gonna have like 3 things of flour on my desk by the end of this podcast.
I'm gonna have to take a
Um,
look at that because that thing's about 8 months old at least.
Yeah, exactly. Because so I live or my parents live very close to the Loveless Cafe, and every birthday, Christmas, sometimes even Easter, they send me like, oh, let's send Billy a pack of Loveless biscuit mix. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And at some point, I just stopped making biscuits for like a year or two. Or it's very
Okay.
rare because it's a bit of an involved process pouring buttermilk and butter into.
It's also
a
what, like the
standing mixer.
3 butter basting process you have to do for that, or it's just like
Yeah, it's just like you gotta
constantly
baste it
bathing
with
it.
butter 3 times.
yeah.
But
Oh.
at some point, I had like 2-year-old biscuit mix, and I decided, all right, this needs to be used or be thrown away.
Yeah.
So I use it. Horrible. No good. Very bad.
Oh really? That
No.
bad?
Yeah. Very bad. Like the
Oh.
biscuits were deflated. They didn't rise properly. And I don't know if that's because like I skimped on the butter, like the butter basting. I don't know what happened, and I'm very upset.
Did
with
it taste bad?
Oh yeah, horrible.
Oh, ooh.
It was just not good in any way. It was just like what happened here?
Question: flour goes bad after like 4 years, right?
I think it takes a while.
Probably depends
As
on the
long-
storage conditions too.
As
Because
long
like
as
I
they're
can
not,
only
like,
imagine one
evils
kind of
in
food
there.
that stays good for 4 years, and that's like canned goods.
Honey.
that are just
Honey will last for however long you want.
Well,
As
honey's
another
just sugar.
As another podcast once said, honey never
Honey
spoils.
doesn't go bad. Yeah.
Just go-
Honey never spoils.
yeah.
But what's
Okay.
in Loveless Biscuit Mix? Apparently there's milk and egg.
Oh.
so
okay.
that's-
Like but like milk powder, I guess.
I assume, and dehydrated egg white or
Egg
yolk?
powder. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never heard of such a thing.
No,
Hey,
I've
man,
definitely
I don't
heard
know.
of it. There's a video of it's one of the Binging with Babish videos where he tries to make like a homemade version of like Blue Box Kraft mac and cheese, and he gets like dehydrated milk, dehydrated butter, and makes like a powder to
James
like with
did
actual
get
cheese.
dehydrated butter. I'm sorry, my roommate James, not James on the podcast here.
Yeah.
That's gonna get confusing.
Oh, very
Um,
confusing.
James
Jimmy
Squared
G
has been
and G-Man.
confusing in our friend group for a while.
That's true.
Okay.
Um,
Well.
Nope.
Do,
yeah.
do we want to move on then?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'd be down.
Hang on. Oh, my computer just freaked out.
Well-
We're good.
And one last thing, the Whole Foods organic pastry flour, whole wheat pastry flour, has a whole 0.5 grams of fat that the regular flour does not have. So
What is pastry flour?
I assume
just-
it's some special kind of like low gluten flour, although it's got 1 less gram of protein. This is pastry flour, and has a little bit more iron and the same level of potassium, but the same level of fiber, the same level of carb.
Man, it's probably
Also,
a gluten thing.
Okay, why do you have whole wheat pastry flour?
So that's another thing. Like 2 weeks in, apparently everyone in Knoxville decided 2 weeks into this is like, all right, we're very bored at home, so let's all make a sourdough starter.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Everyone's making sourdough bread.
So
Right?
let's all make a sourdough starter. Which one? That should be a week's task. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
What's
like
that? What's
homework
that?
assignment?
What's that meme running around where it's like, like boomers originally like millennials don't know how to cook, and now it's like boomers are trying to, break into a Buffalo Wild Wings while all millennials are posting their 4th sourdough bread.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the Whole Foods didn't have whole wheat flour, so I decided pastry flour can't be that bad, right? And I grabbed a bag,
Okay. Well,
All right.
and then went back another day and got 4 pounds of regular whole wheat flour.
there you go.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Anyone want to start with the talking point they have?
Yeah. So I've got a fun one, and I think this is a very a decent topic. I thought of this right before the podcast started. What's your
Okay.
favorite thing to cook when you're just blasted drunk or really high?
Ooh.
So I'll start out because this is one I've made before. I think I made it on request by James Matthews, Billy's roommate, because we were both just obliterated. We've been drinking so much, and I sort of just like went around his kitchen and decided to make something to get us to live through the morning. but I still love to make it, and I just do like a breakfast hash kind of thing when I'm really plastered. But like not so much I can't move, but enough where I can like still
Right, enough
function.
where you're enough where you get to the point where you start cooking.
Yeah, so
some
you can
weird
just
shit.
use kind of because usually like every kitchen has these floating around. Where I'll just I'll start with if we have leftover meat, like it's just like I don't know some leftover ground beef or leftover something. I'll toss that in. But if it's like a high fat content or like already cooked meat or some kind of like pork or beef, I'll sear that up in a cast iron or like an oven safe pan first. Or actually no, I'd roast my potato. I'd dice a bunch of potatoes, salt them up a little bit, roast those in some olive oil until like they're cooked through but not crispy. Take those out, sear up the meat if it's like fresh or has a good fat content. Develop some good fond to the pan. Saute down some onions and peppers, or any other kind of veggie you like in a breakfast hash. Saute that up until like you get all that fond scraped up. I don't want them cooked too much. I don't want them soft. I just want them like just enough cooked. So I'll do all that. I'll reintroduce the potatoes and the meat, kind of toss that all together. Have the oven going up to like 400 to 450 degrees, depending on the oven. I need it really, really damn hot. Cook the skillet until like everything's starting to get a little crispy. Take it out before everything's done. Make like, I don't know, 3 to 4 wells in it, like, put little puncture marks in it. Crack eggs all on it. Cover that in cheese, and then broil it until the cheese is like bubbly and delicious, and the whites have set, but the yolks are still runny. So you kind of have to eye it the whole time. And then once that's done, you take it out, let it cool for a second, and that will sober you up fast, because like that'll keep you alive. But it's it's delicious, it's easy, and put a little hot sauce on it or some ketchup or whatever. I mean, it's not gourmet, but it is like one of my favorite things to make drunk because it is hard to screw up. It will probably taste good even if you don't get the right browning or if you don't like have all the veggies you want. At the end of the day, you're gonna get like cheesy potatoes and eggs and you get that good fat content and meat. But that's a really fun one I like to do when I'm really, really drunk. And then usually I don't. Well, if I have that and some water, like a decent bit of water, I usually wake up okay. Yeah.
All right.
So that's a good one for me.
Henry, what do you have?
I mean, most of the time I don't actually cook when I'm drunk. I'm usually far too uncoordinated and I wouldn't go anywhere near a kitchen.
Sure.
But if I do decide, it's usually just a ham and spinach omelet.
Classic.
Really?
Yeah, just I mean, it's not hard. Like once you learn how to flip an omelet, it's like fucking muscle memory. It's not hard.
Okay.
And it's just like crack eggs, whisk it up, throw it in the pan until it's mostly cooked, throw a little cheese on there, some spinach, and then take some shredded deli ham, flip it over, flip it once, and then you basically just have an egg quesadilla.
Yeah.
It's great.
That is good.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Put a lot of butter in the pan.
James, I was like, oh, this will be a fun segment, and then I hear you come up with like this actual dish, and I'm just over here like thinking about the last few things I've made. So my go-to is usually like nachos if I have the supplies, which I feel like I normally have some like tortilla chips and cheese. And then I'll basically just throw on anything else I have. Like if I have any meat or, sometimes it'll just be a lot of cheese and some hot sauce.
Yeah.
But something I'm not proud of, but I still did, is I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a toaster strudel as each piece of bread.
Oh my god,
Oh my
that
God.
sounds amazing.
It's clever.
Sounds amazing.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I was like, I want a couple of toaster strudels, and then I was like, but that's not good enough. And then I had just made some homemade strawberry jam,
Well,
and I was like,
okay.
It was about as like rich and borderline disgusting as you expect.
Okay.
But yeah, it was. That's the first thing that came to mind.
May I make an admission? I have never actually had a toaster strudel.
Really?
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
Not
Wow,
bad.
really? Okay.
They're not great, but they're probably a little better than you're expecting.
You just gotta cook them right, because like the toaster, if you had a toaster oven, you get them good. In a toaster, they don't come out right.
Now, I know Billy has probably some of the best drunk food because I've eaten some of the drunk food that Billy will just randomly...
Really quickly, I just want
right.
to say something about Austin.
Yeah.
Austin likes his toaster strudels warm on the outside, but still cold on the inside, and I just need to put that out there because I think he's a freak.
Animal.
Anyway, continue, Billy.
But Henry, you're goddamn right I make the best drunk food. You know why? Buttery soft pretzels. That's why.
That's a good point. I
Oh.
remember those.
He makes pretzels.
That-
He also fries various things.
Oh, the French fries. Oh,
I'm never fearless enough to fry things. And
See,
Billy is the fry king.
The trick is, you don't care. Also, you're drunk.
You're so yeah.
You're so drunk
Fair.
you can't feel the 400-degree hot peanut oil hitting your skin and leaving I don't know, mild burns,
Little pock marks.
little pock marks, and make you wish, damn, I wish I had an apron. I'm really under-equipped here, but
Wish I was doing this with a shirt on.
Well, I don't think I've ever cooked without a shirt on.
Oh, I do a lot.
Well, I've always lived with with other guys or whatever, and I don't know. It's never really been a thing we've done. So,
Okay.
buttery soft pretzels are excellent. I've made donuts. I do a lot of drunk baking, which typically turns out well if it's pretzels. I think I've only fucked up pretzels a couple times. One, I use a lot of Alton Brown's recipes, but Alton Brown's soft pretzel recipe fucked me. The one time I branch out to try just a new recipe, and I think, oh, it's Alton Brown, it's gonna be great. He's a world-renowned chef. I get like weird green egg yolk.
Ugh, what the fuck?
Oh.
Because the one key or the thing that he suggests to do to get them to like the pretzels all super crispy. So in a pretzel, you boil the pretzel a little bit in very hot water with baking soda dissolved into it.
Yeah.
And that I think is super basic, and that like caramelizes the wheat on the outside or something, or breaks down the wheat on the
breaks
outside.
down, so then it caramelizes better. Something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. I'm not a food chef. I'm a doctor, not a scientist. But Alton Brown suggests, rub like a little egg yolk over it or something, or
Like an egg wash?
yeah, like an egg wash.
Okay.
And I don't know what I did. I probably did it wrong. So
Wait,
sorry,
before you boiled it?
yeah, well, no, after I boiled it.
Okay,
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
that's
After I-
weird.
No. You boil it and then you put it on, or you make the pretzel shape, or in my case, just pretzel sticks, because I'm a taste over form kind of guy. And then wash the egg, or like do an egg wash over the pretzel, and then stick it in the oven. And
Okay.
for whatever reason, it turned into like weird green goo on the pretzel.
How the hell did that happen?
Maybe it's some reaction with the
It's probably
alkalinity? I
it's
don't know.
probably the alkalinity with the egg, and it's just like I had to throw it all away. I was so disappointed because I was like,
Ugh.
Not even gonna
'Cause
put
it-
that shit in your mouth.
because
Ugh.
I tasted one. I was like, this doesn't look right. But I'm very drunk, and I need some bread to absorb the alcohol or to get me through the night. And it's like, oh my god, I just weird taste. It was like jelly.
Ugh.
I guess it was eating like a over easy egg.
Ugh.
On top of a
What?
pretzel, and it just didn't work. It didn't work.
That's
I'll
textural ruin.
It really does. So and that's great.
Those are good.
Those are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can turn them into salt pretzels, which are my go-to, especially with butter, good quality butter. Or you can make them cinnamon sugar, by just swapping out the salt for cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah.
Excellent. Although the salt ones I think are better.
Yeah.
Don't you so I thought pretzels were a yeasted affair.
They are. They require like 1 hour rise time.
Oh, that's not much. I was gonna say, like, at what point do you get drunk and it's like, okay, I'm gonna proof these for 8 hours.
See you tomorrow, pretzels.
You
I will
can.
still
I
be
know
drunk.
you can do a
Oh
long
my
proof,
God.
but
See,
these work out pretty well.
at least
Okay.
with my liver, I am rather a lightweight for my size.
Okay.
And I'll drink something. I also suck at pacing myself, so I'll get kind of drunk by like 9 or 10, and then it'll be like, all right, I'm gonna get hungry by like 2, because everyone's still gonna be here at like 2, and they're gonna get drunker and hungry. So I just started at that point, and then let it rise, and by 1 a.m. I'll have pretzels.
Preemptively make the pretzels.
Yeah, I now associate the sound of Billy's stand mixer with inebriation.
It's that was again. That was a good gift my parents got me.
I hear a KitchenAid. Billy, are you okay?
Basically.
Oh god.
I do a lot of drunk baking. I'm not as fancy as egg and ham omelets or what are the cheesy potatoes, James?
Breakfast hash kind of skillet thing.
Yeah.
I just like
Usually
making
when
omelets.
See, usually when I'm like, the baking impresses me because usually when I'm drunk or high, I'm like desperate, so I don't have the patience to sit around for like an hour. I'm just like, I like try to MacGyver just anything.
I need food in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I want it to be hot. I want it to be like delicious, and that's basically all I need.
I don't know. I like to. I typically don't make stuff like nachos, like quick little things like that. It's just not really what I do for some reason. Like if I'm going to go to the effort to actually make something, and not just heat something up from a can or a pizza, I'm going to fucking put a little effort into it. That's
fair.
Yeah.
I always
my
get
thought
like
process.
really, if I'm like kind of like, I don't know, drinking with people, like when I'm home and I'm just like having some beers, I'm just chilling out, like I'll just have some leftovers or a snack. But if I'm with people, I'll kind of get the idea in my head and I'll be kind of up and moving around, be like, guys, let's make something to eat. And they're just like, why would we do that? I'm like, no, I'm gonna cook something. And I'll get up and I'll just start rummaging through things. I'll throw things together. I'll do like drunken Asian noodles sometimes. I think I stole that from Bon Appetit, but it's really easy. And I'll like do that and it's delicious. Or it's like I'll just like find like a thing of meat and I'm like, I'm gonna pan sear this, and then like the kitchen will like be all smoked up, and sometimes I'll set something on fire, but eventually it'll be good. Like I've definitely gotten pretty plastered while cooking in my apartment here in Texas, and Kat has seen me like accidentally just straight up grab a stainless steel pan that I've just taken out of the oven without a mitt. I just wasn't paying attention. Just grab it and be like, oh, I seared my hand, and I'll have to wash it off, but I'll still be cooking because I've gone this far.
It's like, well, I can't stop.
We've gone so far.
For a final subject, something that's similar to this, what is your favorite hangover cure?
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Oh, I gotta think.
I can go if y'all
Yeah,
need to think,
you
because
go.
my answer is like hard, like easy.
Yeah,
sure.
Waffle House.
Oh,
Fair.
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, you do
fair.
love Waffle
I don't know
House.
if you were looking for cooking or eating out, but like Waffle House is just on its own holds a special place in my heart. The all-American breakfast.
Oh yeah.
I get grits. I get sausage patties. Is there any other? Oh yeah, and raisin toast.
Ooh. Raisin toast is underrated. Good stuff.
I have 2 answers for this.
Like that's what I always get at Waffle House.
Yeah.
But I don't drink often, and when I do get hungover, that's usually like the first. I like wake up, headache, disgusting taste in my mouth, and I'm like, I need waffles.
Yeah.
Get me to the Waffle House.
If I need like a quick hamburger that I'm not making myself, it's McDonald's. Is Mickey D's.
What's your McDonald's breakfast order?
It's not breakfast. No, I can't. I don't eat breakfast because when I'm waking up from a hangover, it's 12.
Well, they do breakfast all day now, Henry. Thank you very much.
Well, they do breakfast all day, but now.
Okay, so what do you get from McDonald's?
McDonald's, I get a 10-piece chicken nugget and 2 double stacks. Or not, whatever, not double stacks.
McDouble?
McDouble, yeah.
That's fair.
Thinking Wendy's.
I've been on you on those
Okay.
journeys. That's a pretty good time.
It's just like none of that food is good, but it's just pure caloric density and grease, and it just settles my stomach.
Yeah.
And
all right,
it's unbelievable. But if I'm cooking, I will forever remember the 21st birthday bash.
I was gonna say
this.
I was gonna say this is my answer.
You want to take this?
Sure. One of my favorite hangover cures is making like an annoyingly gourmet grilled cheese. Like
Mhm.
Oh,
like grilled cheese in general is just like a buttery bread and cheese just sops up that really good sops up all the alcohol in your system. But Henry was mentioning this came out on my 21st birthday. We like actively were like, okay, we're gonna make grilled cheeses when we're done with this. Like when we wake up in the morning, and so we bought like all these like really expensive cheeses and just made like
Was that
annoyingly.
That was
We
the
had-
same
We
night.
had
Was that-
smoked Gouda and some aged Havarti and
Oh, it
smoked
was
Gouda
so
were the two
good.
that we got.
was that Gavin's first grilled cheese?
No,
No,
no.
that was a
We-
different
we
night.
made that on a different night.
No,
Okay.
we did it on like fresh like white mountain bread, and
Mm.
like
I remember that. That's
it was
yeah.
so good. But yeah, that's usually my go-to because it's you can do that with a splitting headache, easily make a grilled cheese. And
Mhm.
I will say I'm in the camp of using mayo instead of butter on my grilled
Well,
cheese.
yeah, I was going to say, what's your grilled cheese method? Like, is it just
Wrong.
one side and then another? Is it do you press it
mayo
down?
on each side. Start the put down the first piece, sear that for like a second. Put that cheese. I usually do like very good melty cheese, thin slices, or shredded if I just have big blocks of cheese. Let that kind of get some color. Put the other piece on. Flip it. Let that get some more color, so you get maximum like cooking into the cheese. You get really
Brownage.
good like gooiness. And then
Oh, sure.
if the cheese isn't fully melted, but we've already gotten to the crispiness level I want, because mayo will get crispier faster than butter, I'll turn the heat off and just kind of like keep rotating it to like it'll keep like melting that cheese, but I won't be burning the bread at all. And it usually is perfect.
Okay.
So
I
but
remember
grilled
we
cheese is
made
mine.
so many of those.
We made like
It was-
17 of them or something. It was ridiculous.
We ate them all.
Oh
We
yeah,
ate
we
'em
ate
all.
every one of them.
What's your go-to grilled cheese?
Depends on what I have on hand. Like if I'm doing this random.
If you're buying cheese to make grilled cheese,
okay. Well, melty. Like I usually do like a Monterey Jack, something that's kind of like middle ground, but like good melty. I want like some Parmesan or like Reggiano, something with a little more like flavor to it, some like a little saltier. And then I want like a spicy like Jack cheese as well. Like
Okay.
so I'll get like these kind of like 3 different flavor profiles, a little bit of like cracked black pepper in there as well, and then just big thick pieces of like I can do sourdough, but I prefer using like white bread just because I want that like that fluffiness to it, and
Mhm.
that's usually
Yeah.
my go-to. Yeah.
If
Nice.
I personally like smoked Gouda with a little bit, just like some Parmesan, nothing like super fancy. You can just
Yeah.
use like American Parmesan, and Monterey Jack like shredded together, like
Yeah.
in a blend.
That's a good
mine.
combo.
Smoked Gouda is easily my favorite cheese. Can't convince me otherwise.
Smoked Gouda is amazing.
Is American cheese
Well,
a cheese?
I mean, you're wrong, but that's fine.
Oh.
Gauntlet thrown.
You're the one who said best, not favorite.
Best cheese.
All right.
That's bold.
all right.
That's bold.
So
Okay,
That's
Billy?
another
That's
episode.
that's
So-
we'll
I'm
have
sure
a
we can
cheese
fill
related episode
more than
at
one
some point.
episode with
Yeah.
cheese
we'll have a
discussion.
cheese related episode. So
All right, Billy. What about you?
well, I'm a classic basic bitch. I guess when it comes to grilled cheeses, I love American grilled cheeses. It's standard, it's easy. It reminds you of when you were 8 and you begged your mom for it.
Nuclear orange cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's great. There's some milk in there.
There was at one point, I think.
There was at one point. And then I'll loop back around to that. But drunk like hangover food. This comes from living in like my first off-campus apartment in college was right above a Zaxby's.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You kept that place open, Billy.
I think they certainly have closed now that I've moved far away.
What's your Zaxby's order?
Well, it's a standard like 3 pieces of chicken and fries and honey mustard. And that's pretty much it.
What more do you need?
Maybe more depending on how bad I feel in the morning. It's just like
This is a 4-piece hangover.
yeah, we never go to 6 because six pieces of chicken and 2 orders of fries is that's a full 2,000 calories.
Yeah, you're gonna have a chicken hangover after that.
I remember that Zaxby's
Exact-
well.
Oh yeah.
It was that
That
Zaxby's.
tortured me. You got to sit on because the balcony was right over it.
It was
So,
right
like, if
above it, and you could smell the deep fryers.
You're just kind of you're just sitting there, just like, ah, man, I'm drinking some whiskey, and Billy would just look at me, just like, Henry Zaxby's is still open.
Oh
they
my
they
God.
close at 10. It was great.
That's pretty late.
Have you ever had MSG and salt in just like their crystallized form? Because that's what that place is.
I can't say I have.
Salt and MSG, and it's delightful.
On a steam.
Um,
I mean,
on a
MSG is
steamed-
literally the greatest thing ever.
Oh,
Hyperbole,
Um,
yes, but it makes everything taste better.
that's true. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right,
So
well, we're just about at an hour now.
Yeah,
I think this is a good cutoff point.
I'm sure we could keep talking, but like we can also talk more next time.
that's true.
Mhm.
True. Yeah.
So we'll eventually figure out some way to end this gracefully.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you about the I guess the famous grilled cheeses we've made before. I guess.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Just
Go for it.
one last thing. Henry and I have destroyed one of our mutual friends because we've introduced him to the grilled cheese.
Yes, he refused
This
to
is
eat
Gavin,
them.
right?
He
This is
refused to
Gavin.
eat them.
Allegedly,
Wait, he refused?
Yeah. He's like, it's just
On
cheese.
what?
It's just cheese and bread. This sounds
He's
terrible.
like, how good it... Oh my god.
How good is this? And we changed.
I
his
need to
mind.
talk to this boy.
We have video evidence of him saying his parents hated him because we made him like a Toll House white bread or like hearty white bread. And I can't remember what it was. Probably like American and some Kraft cheddar slices or Velveeta slices. And those were
Mhm.
excellent. But I also made him like almost a year ago, probably like 9 months. I took Bavish's like processed cheese
Yeah.
recipe. I mixed like 2 or 3 kinds of Parmesan. Not Parmesan. Cheddar, like aged cheddar. 1,000 day
That's good
old
stuff.
Gouda, which was excellent. I highly recommend that if you can
Ooh,
find it.
aged Gouda. Okay.
Okay.
Aged Gouda and Parmesan. Made that into a processed cheese and just had that for grilled cheeses for a while. Gave that to him. I've never seen a face light up more than that.
It's a
All
great
right.
video. Do you still have it?
Oh, you videoed this?
Yes,
I
we
say-
videoed this.
I save a lot of
Oh.
the videos of, cooking and especially Gavin eating something for the first time and being.
Gavin has been.
He has a very
deprived.
expressive face. I've got the one where the year ago grilled cheese where I made him with the Babish's blend, then the other one where he says, my parents hated me for denying me the grilled cheese,
Yep, his parents
Yeah.
had never made him a grilled cheese.
Oh,
which is truly sad. And audience,
Like his
if
face
your parents
just
haven't made you
lights
grilled
up.
cheese, your parents hate you.
I mean, honestly, it is like so simple. Like, why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
There
It's
is
bread,
a last
Butter
thing.
and cheese.
My favorite grilled cheese, though, like my mom makes this thing. It's cinnamon raisin bread
okay.
with cheddar and ham, and it
Mm.
doesn't sound good. It sounds terrible, but you
Okay.
would have
You
a
know, I mean, I will always try anything once, and I don't want to judge. Like, food especially is impossible to judge before trying. So, who knows?
It is my favorite type of grilled cheese to just
I
have.
could see it. I could see
It's
it.
unbelievable. It's so weird. It's just it's a ham and cheese melt, but the bread is like sweet and cinnamon. It's so weird. It's so
I mean,
delicious.
what is it? It's like a croque monsieur. It has raspberry jam on it or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's right.
So, I mean, there's not. Maybe it's a croque madame.
Croque
I don't know.
madame's the one
But
with
yeah,
the
sweet-
like a bechamel sauce over it.
Oh, okay.
Sweet and savory.
Yeah, sweet and savory is not
I-
weird.
I know, but you hear
cinnamon raisin.
it doesn't sound good, but it's delicious.
Well, there's
Try
like
it out
a
sometime.
Try it.
there's
Try
a
it out
Italian
sometime.
meal or Italian dish where you saute or you slow cook like a skirt steak with raisins or something in it, and it turns
Really?
out really good. It just is. It's a really old school one, but it's really good. So I could see it. I
Okay.
can see it.
We
Okay,
have
we-
continued this ending.
We are at,
For a while.
Yeah, no, I know. We kind of always do. It's like, oh well, okay, we don't. Well, one more.
All right,
One
we
One,
gotta
one
end
more
it
round
now.
of TTT.
But for real this time.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, whoever you are. If you're listening, maybe it'll just be
If you're out
us
there.
editing it. Who knows?
Maybe.
We
Okay.
talked about COVID, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Note just to my other hosts. Think about outros we could do.
That's a good point. Do we want to like end the thing on like a clap as well, so we know that there's definitive end stamp?
Oh, just in case stuff gets off.
Yeah.
I guess that's worth
Sure.
a shot.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Same thing. 1, 2, 3, clap. and instead of me saying clap, we'll just clap.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
That was better.
Good enough.
Okay.
On my end, I clap, and then I just hear, like...
Well,
It should be
that's
fine.
just
But,
that's
yeah.
just delay.
Okay, I'm gonna hit
Yeah.
hit stop now.